Something went funky. As soon as I changed channels, I noticed it right away that I didn't have audio on. I was like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to have a whole half a monologue be hidden because some switch wasn't thrown. What the ever loving doohickey is a going on? What the heck? So very strange. All right. Well, hopefully we're fine and everything's good and you guys can hear me. Let's check in with the chat room. They'll know best. Hello. Look at that. Okay, good. Oh, man. It's just all this stuff. I'm not always muted. I'm just muted when I'm saying stuff that I probably should save to the end of the show. Anyways, so that's my fault for not being a tease. How you like them apples? Okay. I gotta get started because Summer and I are gonna go see Def Leppard tonight. She got tickets for Def Leppard and she's like, we're going out. So I was like, yes, ma'am. So I got a hot out at like 6:15 my time, that kind of window. So where I got to get at this because we got a lot to cover in a very we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Eastbound, just watch old bandit run. My mom and I were just wondering how much I would look like sort of mid '80s Burt Reynolds if I shaved everything but my mustache. So yeah. That said, all right, yes, watch old house parks run. Yes, like a goddamn pro streamer. That's right. Audio right out of the goddamn gate. Now that said, if I may, ladies and gentlemen, and I think that I may, we're going to start off before we jump into the unlike a prayer, your voice won't take me there. For obvious reasons. Yeah, like a porn star. I would like think more like Magnum PI, but I'll take it. There's a bunch of stuff in the Epstein files that there's some things that make you go right before you go, what the fuck? And I'm sure you've seen some of it as people have been kind of crowbarring their way through it. And there's so much noise in there, especially amongst the Trump-friendly crowd. But there's also some folks, again, I think we should have learned our lesson on a long time ago. Namely, the much admired Noam Chomsky over the years, who was kind of pedestrian, like TYT, pedestrian in his attacks on the right, but violent in his verbal attacks on Democrats and the like, and just dismissive of everything that they want to do, while claiming that, obviously because that's what these gatekeepers do. Like, you're not really doing it unless you're doing it through my gate hole. I'll give you a good example. This is a message from Noam Chomsky to Valeria Chomsky, and that was sent to Jeffrey Epstein from Valeria Chomsky, an entire text chain. This is just their responses. Look at all the redactions in the Chomsky emails. Yeah. What the fuck? Who needs to block out that much stuff? You just generically throw that's an email to Noam Chomsky from Diana Chomsky that would later, the entire thread, be sent to Jeffrey Epstein about the finances, effectively, that he was doing for the family. And yeah, so I mean, I'm beginning to think they got a loan from fucking Trump. Yeah. Noam Chomsky, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's a bunch of these pricks in this stuff. Let me grab one more thing here. In the Epstein files themselves, in the Epstein library, which I gotta say is a creepy fucking name for it. Let's just be honest. call it the Epstein repository or the Epstein documents or files or whatever. But the library sounds like he was president. And in Trump's world, he kind of was for a while. But you have to, when you sign into this, there's some really, untoward stuff in there. There's some fairly awful things in there. Okay, privacy notice, Epstein there. And when you first sign on to it, it asks you if you're over 18, and if you click yes, it goes, okay, fine, you're in. Like, it doesn't verify that you're 18 by any means. There's no way to really tell. You don't have to enter an email address. I guess people would be afraid to in some, especially if they're, Steve Bannon and they're checking if they're in there. As a matter of fact, Steve Bannon, 2,902 results for Steve Bannon, and a lot of it is these text chains back and forth with him in the Epstein files and an unknown person. For some reason, Steve Bannon's name is blacked out, but the person he's talking to's name is blacked out. And there's a bunch of this where it seems like they're both shitting on Trump as being a loser or a dipshit. Here you go. Got it. Where are you? London with Boris. Dare to be great speech. That was last night in the press. Wednesday, 7 a.m. Can it be later in the day? Yes. No worry. You back? Still in London. Nice when you back. Midnight. Travel safe. Thanks. Barack apoplectic. Tom Barack. About Helsinki. Yes. Donald would never piss off the guy who was going to rent the retail space in Trump Tower no matter what until he had a signed lease with deposit. It's easy. Then he would turn off the heat in winter. My explanation is not well received, and that is an understatement. By the way, dollar strong. All you need to know. Yup, no shortage of crybabies. POTUS walk back. What time tomorrow? Trying to figure out. You free for breakfast? Okay, 7 a.m. Done. See you then. I emailed you the link. Roger. No, this person's name, this is either Steve Bannon is engaged in criminal activity with one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, hence the redaction, or the FBI under Kash Patel and the Pam Bondi at the DOJ are breaking the law by hiding the name of someone to protect their reputation or something. And obviously they think it would ruin their reputation to be seen speaking with Steve Bannon. Or it's probably, more than likely, somebody that is like close to Trump but shitting on him, and Trump is still close to that person, so they want to hide the fact that this person gets to dunk on him all the fucking time. But there's tons of those. Where are you? Richmond with my dad. Kurz wants to meet you. I want to meet him. He said he was busy with the EU, ready to meet. Really? Epstein, Bannon, Kurz. A little too close to Bronstein, Goebbels. Smiley face. Way too close. Ken Starr in New York, 11/12. In Brussels, London. K. If you want to do Kurz, he asked for prospective dates. I would be there, but you'll have fun. K. Chat later today. Yes. Free to speak. Whatever that was about is out. Starr talking to Cruz and Cotton for Kavanaugh. That's huge. I've been called many things. Human is not one of them. I was getting too soft. Women are bad for the knees. Maybe it was a female. Maybe this is Leslie Groff or somebody. NATO privilege lunch if you'd like to go. If you go. Otherwise, I'm in New York Wednesday, Thursday, even maybe Vienna. Let's talk then if you're free. Easy. After China, dollar strong. Big stocks up. With oil at 74. Strong. We started strong. I can talk now if you're free. Dutch TV link. By the way, Pakistani Prime Minister convicted. HBJ in center place again. Bannon is in constant contact with both Epstein and people in Epstein's circle. Just like texting nonstop. Here's a good one. Need passport details for entourage. K. New York Times. Opinion. Trump Foundation. New York Attorney General. Something. This thing. I'm getting crushed for follow-on interviews given my ABC hit tomorrow. Do we have any flexibility to leave Wednesday night or Thursday just in case? No change yet, but I see this building. Let me see what I can move. Chat later. Certainly getting briefed by House Intel now on IG and Spygate. Keep in mind the U memos on torture, YOO, were set aside. Same can be done for not indicting a sitting president. U memo. What? To remove the prohibition on indicting a sitting president would be exactly the same as withdrawing the opinion on torture. There is precedent and will pull. So he's basically saying you can use the shit that you used to protect the Bush administration about torture and Dick Cheney to make sure that Trump can't get indicted. Near the end of the Bush administration, Bradbury explains it. Okay. Also, Pritzker going to chair a Xi-U.S. business meeting next week. If you'd like input or questions in Peking, he still calls it Peking. Yes. When are you going to stop? When is he going to stop forced technology transfers? And when will he stop beating his wife? That obvious, huh? I suggested offering a working group to look into the issue of how. And by the way, this is the whole thing. Like Pritzker met with the Chinese. They knew about it, and it was standard. It was expected. It was part of a working group. That's the ticket. We're good luck tomorrow. Thanks. Did you watch? Of course. Epic. It worked. Putting the spell on him. This is him. Whatever. Laughed my ass off. Pope is wrong on policy. Ex cathedra that. You're an honorary Jew anyway. Now it's no longer Judeo-Christian, just Judeo. Honored. I will drop the Christian and Christian Zionist. Hey, I can think of a bunch of people who are enjoying reading this right now. Should we forward it to Candace Owens or what? You get the optics. Sorry. You must admit you look like a little like a priest in the exorcism, missing the hat and Carl's green slime. You get the optics. It would be great to see his spin around. Blah blah blah. One of my favorites, John Carl. Blah blah blah. Eaten alive. Bingo. Eaten alive. Where did you see that? Comments to ABC this week. Just imagine. Just imagine without the glasses. This would be Steve Bannon, and this would be Jonathan Carl. Is the idea there? The power of Christ compels you. Okay, so that's the. So he's no longer a Christian Zionist, just a Zionist or something, and he's dropping the Christian from Judeo-Christian and all that kind of stuff, and just just chit-chatting about it. Bannon is all over these goddamn things, and again, everybody in his circle, and I think Howard Lutnick, for example, tons of stuff about how many times that Howard Lutnick's in there 236 times. And they're all emails back and forth. Howard Lutnick returned your call to Jeffrey Epstein. Hello, Mr. Lutnick. Jeffrey Epstein understands you will be down in St. Thomas some over the holidays. Jeffrey requested I please pass along some phone numbers to you so the two of you could possibly get together. Any numbers you wanted to pass along to Jeffrey would be great as well. Jeffrey's office at St. Thomas is FTC. Daphne and Anna are the contacts and are also CC'd here. FTC office. Thanks very much. Leslie Groff, assistant to Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, Howard Lutnick, there you go. Whoops, I clicked on the same one, sorry. Here we go. Howard Lutnick returned your call. Think there's his number. Let's see. From Leslie, I guess somebody, Leslie Groff. I had CC'd you all in the message a while ago, but I thought I would forward again, as this now includes Howard and his wife's cell, as well as Howard's assistant's info. So he responded in kind. Howard Lutnick went, oh shit, here's my number, here's my wife's number, here's my assistant's number. P.S. 6 to 7 steps from your door after the very first time I met you, I told her and she agreed that we would never set foot in the same disgusting room with you. Hardy fucking har. And then Matthew Gilbert, Office of Howard Lutnick, Chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald. He wrote back, you can see me anytime. Howard's cell is this, Allison's this. Matthew Gilbert is the assistant that sent that information. This email, including its contents attachment, if any, are confidential. If you're not named recipient, please. Well, guess what, asshole? Lutnick, again, this whole thing. Howard Lutnick returned your call. From so-and-so that will do. Like, call list tomorrow. So he added it to the call list for the next day. Allison Lutnick calling. And the fact that they do it on the JEE vacation one, which is Jeffrey Edward Epstein vacation, which is the come to the island email. Let's see. Yeah, here you go. December 20th, 2012. 4 years after he was a convicted pedophile. Sorry, I have to roll this down. Here you go. 4 years after Jeffrey Epstein did time for being a pedophile, they're talking about having lunch on his island. December 20th, 2012. Can Howard Lutnick do lunch Saturday or Sunday on Jeffrey Epstein's island? From Lutnick Allison. Hi, Allison. Great to hear you're headed over here. I'm actually not on the island, but I spoke to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. We'll be sending you an email with more instructions. I think you need to know what kind of boat you are on so they can instruct you properly. Thanks. Have a great day. Hi, Leslie. We're heading towards you from St. Thomas. Where should we anchor exactly? What is your phone number? Again, there is no landing strip on Epstein Island. I just want to be really clear about that. Anybody goes, I never flew on the plane to his stupid island. Nobody did. You flew to St. John or St. Thomas and you took a boat or a helicopter. And if you're like, I never flew to his island, well, then you took the boat. And you think your ass is covered. And it ain't. Because there's millions and millions and millions of more pages to come out. And I don't mean, the other half of 6. That's not how this works at all. Fuck you, Howard Lutnick. And the whole thing about my wife and I decided we would never be with that disgusting man ever again. He ran a check on all of them or something maybe. There you go. Jeffrey Epstein to call Howard Lutnick today. Call Matthew to organize. Matthew's Matthew Gilbert, his assistant. On and on and on. From Jeffrey Epstein to Leslie Groff. Can list tomorrow. This is Howard Lutnick returned your call. That's another one. On and on. This is the Austin, Kansas that comes Saturday or Sunday for lunch. To Matthew Lutnick and Howard from nobody, it doesn't say, CC Bryce. Hi, Matthew and Candace. Might you be able to give Bryce and so-and-so a few more details regarding lunch this Sunday? Do you know if you'll be just Howard and his wife? Any kids coming along? Will they arrive at Jeffrey Epstein's island via their boat? And around what time is good for them? Hi, Jeff. We're landing in St. Thomas early Saturday and planning to head over to St. Bart's Anglo. This is the one you guys have probably seen. Does Sunday evening for dinner look good? I have another couple. Marion, this is the one that we each of us has 4 children. 2 16s, 2 14s, a 13, a 12, an 11, and a 7-year-old. Thanks. That was the menu from Howard Lutnick. So fucking gross. Oh, and anybody ever watch the Jazz Jennings show about the trans girl? This is her doctor. Epstein was in regular contact with, and Dr. Ting came to his island multiple times. He went to the house. He went to the island. He hung out. Here you go. Dr. Ting and family. The party consists of Dr. Ting, his friend Michelle, her 3 kids, 8, 8, and 5, and 2 nannies, will visit your island this Friday, March 22nd. Dr. Ting is thrilled and thanks you so much. Just fucking gross. Yeah. Gary Howard. Yeah. Remember when Gary Hart had to end his campaign because he was caught on a boat with a woman, not his wife? And she said, we now know that was a setup, that was a Roger Stone production. What's all going to come of this? Nothing unless we elect a bunch of fucking Democrats this fall. It is the only recourse. And there's not a single, waffly, middle of the road, namby-pamby, centrist, center-right Democrat that would vote to hold back any of this shit. You can fearlessly vote for any Democrat that can get elected in your district. And if you don't, nothing will be done about this. That's right. Red to purple, purple to blue. Everything else is bullshit. Think DOJ have permanently redacted the files original so even a Dem admin could prosecute? No, I do not. I'll tell you why. Because I think there are multiple copies in a bunch of different places. Garland cannot prosecute. Ghislaine was going through an appeal after. Yeah, that's why they couldn't release this stuff. Yeah, it looks more and more like Jazz Jennings' surgeon was an Epstein adjacent butcher. Just fucking terrible. Yeah, red streak to blue bingo, from your mouth to God's ears. Speaking of which, nice transition. Trump spoke at the National Prayer Breakfast, and if you'll recall, that's where we originally got this wonderful little nugget.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Remember that? Okay, that was at the prayer breakfast. That was the only thing that Mike Pence's, borderline Jonestown sister wife wanted to go to. That's right. Fire up those carrots, Twitch people. So this is him giving a speech. So wish us all luck. This is just fucking embarrassing. I got to tell you, there are a few people who give less of a shit about prayer and religion than Trump, and how he talks about it. Thank you for the super chat. How he talks about it is I find it embarrassing. I can't imagine how people whose Christian identity is crucial to their lives and their own personal identities and their community or whatever. I can't imagine how they fucking feel about this if they let themselves look at it honestly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Paula White, Senior Advisor to the White House Faith Office.
And bullshit and bullshit and bullshit and bullshit and bullshit.
Good morning. It is an honor to stand in this.
But it's multiple honors. It is an honors. I'm an honors student.
Sacred gathering where faith, leadership, and conscience meet at the National Prayer Breakfast.
Where money can be made.
A moment that reminds our nation and the world that faith matters.
Almost as much as Dermafill.
Prayer matters.
Botox.
An awareness of God's sovereignty matters.
And threaded chin lifts.
Something the president reminded us of last year when he publicly gave God.
Real quick, if you have so much lip filler, it's hard to give a sermon, I think you've gone too far. Also, when they put so much filler in your forehead that it makes your head look like a bowling ball, stop.
Praise for the miracle of his life and God's sovereign plan. This morning, we gather not only to pray, but to give thanks. We give thanks for a president who understands that faith is not a private afterthought.
It's a business.
But a public good. A president
to be traded on the Dow. We're hoping this is our initial public offering of fauxchristianity.org. I'm kidding, .org. Like they would do it nonprofit. I'm fucking with you.
who has not merely spoken about faith, but has acted to
He's spoken around faith.
protect it, defend it.
All right. Enough of this bullshit. Just introduce the asshole. We don't care. Hold on. If I'm gonna hear bullshit, I want to hear it from a true bullshitter. There he is. Okay, so he walks in and he shakes hands with everybody, and then he walks back because he doesn't know what he thinks they're supposed to. He's waiting for somebody to play Lee Greenwood. By the way, I'm going to warn you ahead of time. A couple of things. One is there's some fairly fierce nuntage going on in this one. Just consider yourself warned. And hold on, I need to warn the people on the recorded stream for. All right, yeah, there you go. For Instagram, when I put up later, it's just. It's shocking. I don't even understand how the people at the prayer breakfast don't make him wear one of those Victorian collars to cover it, just in the name of decency. Have you no shame, vagina neck? But on top of that, you're not gonna be. Get ready to be bowled over with youth and vigor and energy and pow and bang and zip. And it's just, he's on fire with the Lord. I'm kidding you. He almost falls asleep in the middle of his own fucking speech. Like, why is that score?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much, and thank you to Pastor Paula. Paula's an incredible woman. She's been with me a long time, right from the beginning. This is a beautiful American tradition, and it's a true honor to be back with so many incredible leaders and people of faith.
According to this shit that they wrote in this teleprompter thing that I absolutely don't believe.
At the National Prayer Breakfast, I think I've been here just about every time.
Here I am again, bored as usual.
It's hard to turn it down. I don't have the courage to turn it down. Sometimes I want to.
Every time you want to. You don't even know why they're there. Also, all orange, gray and white. There's like he's doing a 3-tone color situation here.
Come back.
He's not kidding. Don't laugh. It's not a joke. Like, he's too chicken shit to turn this down and he would in a fucking heartbeat. If he thought he could put the evangelicals on autopilot, forget it.
From a horrendous trip fighting people that can't stand us, keeping us out of wars. And
can't stand us keeping us out of wars. He's running those together. I'm assuming they can't stand keeping us out of wars, these horrible people he's meeting with at these stupid peace talks. Why can't we just war like we want to?
Things that nobody would believe, that anybody would see. And
that every president sees, that every member of the Joint Chiefs sees, that most people in the Pentagon see, that everyone at the CIA has to see all the fucking time, that this will be shocking to you. People will see in a drive-through sometimes.
Last time I came,
hold on.
I got in at 4 a.m. They said, "Sir, you're going to be speaking at 7." I said, "Really? Oh, that's wonderful." I said, "Where?" "National Prayer Breakfast." I said, "I'll be there. I'm afraid not to be. I need all the help I can get."
That's his yeah, look at the fucking side eye. No one side eyes the Lord like Donald Jesus fucking Christ Trump. He's also doing, you'll notice he's doing the fucking, Jesus take the wheel, but I'll just hold on to the podium. Fucking, God, I gotta stand. With a full diaper too. This is rough. That's the full diaper stance, I'm convinced. You know what I mean? Where you're like, when I stand up straight, it squishes against my legs.
And I never get a fair break from the fake news, which is back there. That's a lot of fake news.
It's fucking C-SPAN and your own people. There's not a lot of fake news at the fucking place, you dipshit.
Yeah.
That's what we know, what we commonly refer to as bearing false witness.
Because last time I was having a lot of fun. We had a big crowd. We had 60,000 people, and I'm talking about the fact that I will never make it to heaven. I will never, ever. And I was being funny. I was trying to be, you can't be sarcastic with them because they write your words.
Sorry, you think you can be sarcastic with God? Oh, I bet you're going to let me in. Nice work, asshole. Like, yeah, that's what it was. Sarcasm. Again, sarcasm. It's what idiots have instead of a sense of humor.
The people are reading the words are much different, but I say, I'm never going to make it to heaven. I just don't think I qualify. I don't think there's a thing I can do, but all of these good things I'm doing, including for religion, religion's back now hotter than ever before.
Yeah, it's a great, like, you can sell religion in the abstract. And not just, I'm not just talking about your run-of-the-mill evangelical, money-making puppy mill of Christianity. No. I mean, all religions. ISIS is making a huge comeback in Africa and slaughtering lots of people, and so we get to bomb a lot of places over there. Religion of all time. Cults, huge comebacks. Satanists, everybody. Just religion of all. So not that I care, religion, it's religion, God, that word, you often heard those words together. They're old-fashioned words. Not as old-fashioned as, Yahweh and that kind of stuff, but close.
I have to tell you. But I said, even though I did that and so many other things, I named things, I said, I won't qualify. I'm not going to make it to heaven. And the New York Times did a front page story that Donald Trump is questioning his life and the meaning of his life. No, I was just having fun. I was
just having fun. And I'm not high on benzos right now at all. I know they put me on beta blockers for this speech because I've got a little alarm on my heart monitor that could set off a nuclear strike if it was misread. So they've got me on so many beta blockers, but I gotta say, I don't think it was necessary. I was bored and drowsy beforehand. I'm not excited about this at all.
I think I probably should make it. I mean, I'm not a
I think I probably should make it. Well, I gotta tell you, with that crowd, the bar is really fucking low as long as you mean it. All you gotta do is follow John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, for whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And you just have to repent and accept the Lord as your personal Savior. That's your ticket to ride with that crowd. It's not like you have to go to fucking confession every week like a Catholic. You don't have to do any kind of, like, it's not AA. You don't have to go on an apology tour. Nothing. Just go. It's why Alan Watts said modern Christianity is the moral equivalent of a flush toilet. You just make a boom boom, flush it, and start fresh.
Perfect candidate, but I did a hell of a lot of good for perfect people. That's for sure. Right, Mr. Speaker?
Right, Mr. Speaker? What's your name again?
But I want to thank the dozens of members of Congress here this morning, including a man of immense faith and immense talent. He's a very talented man. He's a small minority.
You mean the mandate that you have that should allow you to get everything you want because the voters were resoundingly supportive? Oddly enough, big stretch between your vote and their vote, which would seem that there was some monkey business, but whatever.
It's just really, because we go back and forth between minority and majority, and half the time we're minority and we still win. How do we win with a minority? We have a...
You don't. You're not even winning with a majority.
Couple of people that I consider to be negative, but...
He means Massey.
We're 1 up, 2 up. Sometimes we're 3 up. In fact, we'll have 2 more victories very soon. We'll be 3 up. And we consider that having a massive majority, okay? Right, Mike? That's considered, we're not spoiled. Can you imagine if we ever picked up like 20 or 30 seats? Wouldn't that be, that'd be too easy. I think it would be too easy. It wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun if we actually had a mandate from the people. It wouldn't be half as fun as just making shit up and violating the Constitution. I mean, when you have to go to people and consider what they think about the direction of their country, what a waste of fucking time, right?
I get these calls from Mike. Sir, could you speak to so-and-so 3 o'clock in the morning?
Nonsense. Mike Johnson is not calling Trump at 3 o'clock in the morning. Trump is calling Mike Johnson at 3 o'clock in the morning, and Mike Johnson's going, I don't know what the fuck. Talk to Chip Roy. Click.
We have 2 types. We have the type that goes along with us and believes in us, and they're with us all the way. And that, I would say, is 95%, right?
Nope, not anymore. It's like 78%.
And then we have the type that needs a little love all the time, no matter what it is. For the easiest thing.
By the way, this is the prayer breakfast. I would like to tell you, this is not the National Gripe Fest, where the Festivus airing of grievances. He's supposed to be talking about what faith means in his life, maybe even quoting a Bible verse or two, saying or participating in a prayer even. It's a prayer breakfast. You eat and you pray. And if you're, Mike Johnson and Lindsey Graham and there's an open coat check room, you love. But that's pretty much, if you got to eat and pray, you don't really need the love, I don't think, at this point.
On religion or republicanism, the easiest thing to pass, they always make it difficult, but they always get there.
No, they don't.
But I have to call them always at 3 in the morning. I'll always get that call.
He doesn't get the call at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, the 3 a.m. call is the thing about, okay, hey, listen, you old fart. The 3 a.m. call thing is the thing that you question when a president is old, that if there's something, a nuclear strike, or there has to be a drastic decision made, if there's a 3 a.m. call, will you be spry in the middle of the night? How fast can you wake up your flabby ass? That's what the 3 a.m. call. That was a conversation point about Hillary Clinton's age back in the day, and whether a woman could make this decision in the middle of the fucking night. That was what that was about. This isn't about run-of-the-mill politicking being done at 3 o'clock in the morning. Fuckhead. He really does. This is stack this with people who break out of asylums or seeking asylum. Right. This goes with that.
Speaker Johnson's going. So I get a, hi, Mike, what's up? What time is it? So it's 3 in the morning. So we have 9 names there giving us difficulty.
This is just bullshit. This is just bullshit. No one is waking him up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get him to whip votes on of 9 Republicans in the middle of the fucking night. These motherfuckers go on vacation for a month to avoid a vote. You think anything's fucking time crunch to them at all?
They want to have a phone call. I said, all right, let's go. Here we go. Same 9 all the time, right?
I don't know, then maybe think ahead and call them before you go to bed or some shit. Maybe make a call list for the next morning like your best friend Jeffrey Epstein used to do with Howard Lutnick.
You know? So I call up. I say, Chip, how you doing, Chip? Hello, sir. Sir, I can't quite get there. I just don't know. Could I come over for breakfast? You know, we have a 9 o'clock vote, right? I said, really, is it not? Sir, you got to get me there, sir. Let's have breakfast, Chip, great. And then I get others, pretty much the same 9. I don't want to name too many, but I would. And they always get there. We have one that doesn't get there. We have one guy. He's an automatic no. No matter what. If we...
Also, no, he isn't. And I mean, Rand Paul, I think, is who he kind of means. But that's not true. And because Rand Paul votes with shit all the time. He's just a no on certain things. And Massey votes with Trump most of the time. It's just the Epstein shit that he's dragged his feet on. There's like a couple of areas maybe where he's going to, like, when they were trying to, like, extend the debt ceiling and give him $5 trillion worth of play money.
Welfare reform, if we did the greatest thing in history for religion.
Which would be what? Doing, more of that. With and where people like God and people would say religion, and we're doing religion and God. Like if we did that, a lot of God, and if we did a lot of religion, they'd still be assholes because we're doing all the best God stuff. Whoops.
His greatest tax cuts, and we just did the greatest tax cuts in history. He voted against. He voted.
No, they didn't. They extended the ones they had before, which were even smaller than the ones that fucking Reagan did, and whatever. It's just dumb.
Now, no matter what we do, this moron, no matter what it is.
Prayer breakfast. Yeah.
We could put them all together. I think, Mike, what would you say the top 5 things? Name them. We'll put them in one bill, and we'll put them before we get 100% vote, except for this guy named Thomas Massey. There's something wrong with him. We call him Rand Paul Jr. It's like they just vote no. They love voting no. They think it's good politically. The guy's polling at about 9%. It's not good, but we have great support, and we have great support for
No, you don't. You just got the worst fucking poll numbers of your life.
religion. I've done more for religion than any other president. When Paula was saying that, it was so nice. I was proud of it. And I said, that's true. I told the people backstage. What she said is true. Who else would say that, right?
Who else would have to say it, I guess, is the the question? Like, why would you get defensive about something that you think is true? And also, look, the Antichrist has a part to play in the end times. That's all I'm going to say. Not that I'm giving this guy credit for being the Antichrist. He's not smart enough or charismatic enough to be the Antichrist from what I've read. So again, Timu Antichrist, Wish Antichrist, nearly new Antichrist.
But it is true. But then I said, but that's not saying much, because not too many presidents have done too much for religion. I want to tell you that.
Religion. That's what you guys do, right? Religion. Can't say Christianity because there's a lot of Jewish people here, but I don't mean the other. Just so you know, I just mean those two groups. I don't mean the other ones. Ugh.
Certainly modern day.
Hold on. I don't know why I'm getting fuzzy ears right now when I...
Certainly modern day presidents, they bailed out on you. They bailed out. They want to be neutral. They want to be neutral or against. The Democrats are against. I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat.
Well, I guess, living their values, I think, would be the easiest way. I mean, they don't have to support your actual religion, especially, as a matter of fact, because that's in the Constitution.
I really don't. And I know we have some here today, and I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. I certainly know that we're not going to be convincing them to vote for a little thing called voter ID. It polls at 97%. And even the the people, the voters, are at 82% for voter ID, but the leaders don't want to approve it. They said they will.
Sorry, wait. It polls at 97% amongst elected officials, but only 82% amongst the public? Sorry. And that's because people are cheating in elections? So the people who got in because they cheated during elections are more for it than the people that would get them in. Okay, now I'm smelling almonds.
Right, they will not allow it to happen. It's polling at over 90%. It's called voter identification. When you go to the polls, you show yes, my name is so-and-so, and I live in the country. I'm here, I can vote. They say, that's not allowed. And no, everyone's trying to figure it out.
Because you show that when you register and you go to a specific precinct attached to your house, and there's multiple steps to verify who you are. And if you vote illegally, you could do 5 years for every count, walking into the fucking place, asking for a ballot. That's another 5 years. Taking the ballot into the booth and writing on it. That's another 5 years. Handing it in. That's another 5 years. And nobody does it. Nobody. Even the people the illegals who illegally voted thought they had the right to.
They do something to win. You know what it is? They cheat. But let's get on to another subject. No, at that, they're the finest, probably anywhere in the world, I would say. But we're trying to pass voter ID and other things having to do with your religion.
Your religion.
And getting the Democrats.
Whatever that shit is. Religion. It's sort of a catch-all. It's a good placeholder for bullshit from his position.
It is very, very tough. But we're grateful to the co-chairs of the breakfast, Representatives Ben Klein and Jonathan Jackson and Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I want to thank a man who's been with me for a long time. We've been friends, and I used to be interviewed by him, and all he wanted to talk about was war. I said,
gee, I wonder who that is. Did his breath smell like Jack Daniels? I'm going to go with, I'm only going to give you one hint.
This guy, he's very smart, went to the top schools, was a top student. He's like me. I was a very good student, too, but nobody would think so, and nobody.
Not listening to you, no. Hearing you talk, listening to you explain things. No, you sound like somebody who paid people to do his homework.
Thinks Pete was a good.
Oy.
So they think of him as a tough cookie, flamethrower, which I like actually in the position of Secretary of War. But he has done some job. Pete Hegseth. You know,
Look how bored he is.
he was very popular. He turned down a very large 5-year extension contract for millions of dollars a year. Oops, I don't want to say that. Your wife is here. She's saying, are you crazy? He's got the greatest wife. But it's true that Pete is...
And she's always around, even in private meetings with military leaders.
just been incredible. And I used to go and be interviewed at Fox and Friends. Remember those beautiful days? And
Oh, yeah, when you said, like, you'd release the Epstein files, except maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of phony stuff in those, and I probably... Yeah, the MLK and the JFK, and yeah, definitely, but I don't know. The Epstein files, probably not, because, you know, yeah, there's a lot of... You know, you don't know who's put what and where, and, you know, it's just gross.
I'd say, what do you want to talk about? So I want to talk about releasing about 25 prisoners. They have arrested American soldiers because they taught them how to fight, and they fought really well, and they won every battle.
Yeah, but they also killed a lot of civilians on purpose and covered it up.
And now they put them in jail because they said they were too tough.
No, it's not about being tough. It is not tough shooting a 7-year-old. Fuckhead. It's tough in those situations not to. If you see a building and there might be some fire coming from it, or it might be dangerous, and you're aware that there are civilians around, and you choose not to return fire on an area where you're receiving fire from because civilians could be killed, that's tough. That's toughness. That's honorable. But if you're just like, what the fuck was that? Into a fucking preschool because a car backfires, and then you make everybody in your unit, drag the bodies out into a field and bury them. That's not tough. No, unless you think Ted Bundy's tough or John Wayne Gacy's tough. If that's your idea of tough, maybe.
I said, so how many are there? 22. And some of these guys were they were fairly tough, wouldn't you say, Pete? But it's true, we teach people how to fight, and then you put them in jail because they fought a little bit too hard.
With children and women and unarmed civilians. That's not a fight, by the way. I'd also like to point out that's just a massacre.
And we took care of a lot of business, but that's all. We didn't talk about the normal things that a interviewer would be talking about, right? But I saw that, and I saw his love.
Also, what the fuck are you talking about? He sat there and listened to you ramble for 45 minutes like everybody else on that stupid fucking couch.
For the military.
I get, this is not even close to true either. Like, he didn't, every time he calls in when Hegseth is one of the co-hosts, all they talked about was battle. Get the fuck out of here.
That was obvious. He was always looking to protect soldiers. And I said, this is a really smart guy. If I ever get this thing, I got to get it. It wasn't easy, They rigged the second election. I had to win it. I needed it for my own ego. I would have had a bad ego for the rest of my life.
You still do. Nothing will ever fix it. Your eyes still work to some degree. You can see your own reflection, and it makes you mad.
Now I really have a big ego, though. Beating these lunatics was incredible, right? What a great feeling. Winning every swing state, winning the popular vote. The first time, they...
Man, this is... I didn't know he had memorized the entire Sermon on the Mount.
Said I didn't win the popular vote. I did. But they said... So.
No, he didn't.
Would always say... Would always thought that introduce me. While Donald Trump did not win the popular vote, I'm sitting up being introduced by a Democrat or somebody, and they say, why Donald Trump did not win the popular vote? He won the presidency. Here he is. I said, that was terrible. I said, and we won the popular vote by a lot. We didn't want to play any games. This has been a much different. We had a great first term. We had the greatest economy in history, but this one's going to blow it away already. It's blown.
Oh, it's blown a lot of holes in it, if that's what you mean.
Everything away. We have 18
Yes, people's futures are getting blown away.
$1 billion coming into our country, blowing everything away. But we had a great first term. We rebuilt the military. Biden gave a little chunk of it to Afghanistan brilliantly. He left tanks and planes and, little things. I said, why didn't you fly the planes out?
Yeah, he didn't. He's confusing Biden and Milley now.
He said, well, nobody thought of it. He could have flown.
This conversation never happened. This is just made up.
He said it's very hard to remove the equipment. Really? You couldn't fly an airplane? They buy a $150 million brand new airplane. Sir, I think it's better to leave it. Why? It's more cost effective. So we leave them a brand new jet. I said, these people are crazy. But we have it under control now like you've never seen, and our military's never been stronger. And you
more expensive.
saw that with the B-2 bombers.
Yeah, those have been around for decades.
In Iran, and you saw it recently with Venezuela, where we're getting along fantastically.
This is the prayer breakfast. Okay? He's about to brag about how he dropped in apropos of nothing, killed 100 people, and kidnapped the leader of a foreign country. Amen.
Leadership really it's become a great relationship. I don't think there's been anything quite like it ever. In fact, we have 50 million barrels of oil floating right now over to Houston, and we're
well, the money went to Qatar.
Working with them really well. I don't think I've ever seen anything. The cooperation that we have and it's great for them because they were in big trouble economically, and yet they have more oil than any other country in the world, I think, except us. But they have more oil just about than any. And by the way, us.
They have the most stores, whatever, but it's this tar, right? Which the places in Texas and Louisiana were basically built to deal with that stuff before the shale revolution. So they've basically, since the Venezuelan sanctions, they've basically been sitting relatively idle comparatively. So this is just throwing a bone to like Texas billionaires.
And them, we have 68% of the world's oil. Now, I know that doesn't mean too much to people of great religion.
Of great religion. Okay, I'm never going to not feel like that's fucking weird. Chat room, is it that he just can't, like he's afraid to say Christianity because that's obviously the people in the room, or he's just going to say religion as a political placeholder, or is it one of those situations where his brain is just fucking stuck and he can't say it, like he doesn't know what other ways to describe faith, for example, like people of great faith, which is how you would say it if you had any skin in the game or any soul in the game, I guess. What the fuck?
I know you want to hear about, but we got to keep our country strong, and we're doing really good. But
we got to heat Pete Hegseth.
That's been an amazing operation. I would say when people saw that, I was just talking to a great leader from El Salvador, and he said, "Man, that was some attack. I've never seen anything like that one." Right?
Really? That's what he sounded like? Because most of the foreign leaders you talk to go, no, we don't want to do that.
Right? That was good, even by your high standard, right? That was a hell of an attack. But we have...
At your high standards, Reverend, we knocked the fuck out of those people, right? High five, Reverend.
We have a great country. We have tremendous leaders. We have
and oil.
Fantastic.
We have tremendous leaders, if I do say so myself. Jesus Christ.
Cabinet, we have unbelievable bench, and one of them is Attorney General Pam Bondi, who may be here. Where's Pam? Is she here? Where?
She's easy to spot. She's got Sharpie ink all over her fingers.
Where are you, Pam? Where? See, she wants to keep it nice and low-key. You're really catching fire, by the way, Pam.
She's catching hell is the phrase, if you want to talk in the, terms of faith.
They were saying about Kristi Noem yesterday. I did the Super Bowl interview. Sir, are you going to relieve Kristi Noem of her duties? No. Oh. I said, why would I do that? We have the strongest border in the history of our country. We have...
And sorry, hold on.
The best crime numbers we've ever...
Wait, is she singularly responsible? Like you couldn't get anybody better to run it who knows what the fuck they're doing that, you can't make the border strong without killing a certain number of Americans. Is that the argument?
Had going back to the year 1900, that's 125 years, we have the lowest crime numbers, despite the fact that this horrible, world's worst president, this is the worst president we've ever had. But
He means him.
he had no idea he was president, so he doesn't take it personally. I don't want him to take it personally. Fortunately, he has no idea what the hell I'm saying. And he's watching right now. He's happy with what I just said. Okay. This is what we had running our country.
Also, no, he's not. And I kind of get where he's joking, where he's trying to go with the joke, but it just kind of lays there because it doesn't make any sense.
But
much like the rest of the speech, religion, you religion people.
no, he was our worst president. We had some bad ones. We had Obama was very bad, terrible divider of our country.
Oh yes, the people who didn't think we should have a black president ever were very upset.
He was a divider. And believe it or not, we're bringing the country together. You know what's bringing?
Yes, you're uniting them in their hatred of you. People were chanting "fuck ICE" at a pro wrestling event here in Vegas last night, so loud they had to stop the match. Unity.
Together, tremendous success. We're having tremendous success. We have more investment being made in our country now than any country has ever had by many times. You go back 10 years, a certain country, not us, $3 trillion. We have in 11 months, because the 12th month is coming out next week, we have $18 trillion of investment coming in. The biggest ever was 3 many years ago.
Also, I don't know what direct, like, $3 trillion year in Chinese investment, what the fuck he's talking about is one particular year where that came in, or period of time. I don't even know that he's stretching it out. This is just silly.
And one of the reasons for it is Secretaries Doug Burgum and Doug Collins. They are drilling like, you know, my whole thing was drill, baby, drill. Where are they sitting? I love those two guys. Come on, stand up. And is Catherine there? That's Catherine. Yes. Hi, Catherine. Chris. What they are drilling like nobody. I spoke with Chris yesterday, Doug. I said, how we do? Sir, we're drilling more oil than anybody's ever drilled by double, right? By double.
Gibberish.
We're doing it. That's why I was in Iowa.
No, okay, we are not doing 26 million barrels a day as of this year. That's what double would be. It's not even remotely close to. This is it's an embarrassingly insane exaggeration.
Last week.
We're by the way, the track of it, we're up, like, we're still under 14 million barrels a day. Like, it's been ticking up since Obama, but not, I mean, it's a steady, slow arc. And, you know, they have to drill, then they run out, a well dries up, and then they got to do a slant drill of another one and shit like that. It just kind of putters along.
With the farmers.
Just gibberish.
Who are doing very well. We just handed them $12 billion out of tariff money.
Oh, that's the farmers. Sorry, 1 second.
With the farmers who are doing very well. We just handed them $12 billion out of tariff money.
Yeah, that's called redistribution of wealth. That's taking basically a forced VAT tax on consumers and giving it to a sector of the economy that you fucked up. It's, it's borderline socialism, I guess, corporate socialism, because again, in 1920, somewhere in the order of 70% of people made their money working on farms or from agriculture, and now 3% do.
Because they were taken advantage of by foreign countries, various foreign countries. And I said, how much was it that they got hurt for? $12 billion. I said, good, let's write them a check. I gave the farmers $12 billion. And they don't even want it. They just want to be treated fairly. But we're getting it from that, but we're getting it with nobody's ever in history, and we've never done it either, like anywhere close. We're taking
What? Get on with it.
out more energy out of our beautiful land, oil and gas, clean oil and gas. And I always say,
Beautiful, clean oil and gas.
clean, beautiful coal. You know, the only thing I told these two guys,
Oh, this fucking shit again. The only thing you can't say coal, you have to say clean, beautiful coal.
they have to do, because
Because it's branding, because, a lie that makes you money isn't a lie. Who's going to pray? Who's leading the prayer?
the greatest
Put that line in there.
energy people in the world, the best. I said, when you mention the word coal, anytime you mention coal, C-O-A-L, anytime you mention it, has to be preceded by two words, clean and beautiful. So Doug was making a speech the other day, and I sort of tried to pass a note, because he mentioned coal about 40 times, and he kept saying, clean, beautiful coal, clean. It really only works a few times, right? I said, no, when you say coal, clean, beautiful. You know, we buy all that wind from, we don't anymore. So we haven't approved anything in wind, right, Doug? Nothing, because it's, it's a quick way to losing money, losing beauty, losing your fields, killing your birds.
Driving your whales crazy.
And other than that, it doesn't work. And Europe is Europe is so bad with the windmills, they're destroying their country with wind. And
Yeah, somebody turned them into propellers, and they're like giant fans. They're blowing all the trees over.
I was over there. It's not even recognizable what they've done. They've got a big problem on their hands between immigration and energy.
Yeah, between the big white fans in the sky and all these brown people running around, it just doesn't look like Hungarian brothels like they used to. Oops.
That he gets smart, and I love them all. I'm friends with everyone of every country over there. I've helped them a lot. Got the GDP up from 2% to 5%, which is, for
No, you did not lift the GDP of all those countries from 2% to 5%.
spending, for military spending. Nobody thought that was possible. Nobody
What he means is the NATO payments, right?
thought 2% was possible.
But the only way you could get them there was something that nobody ever thought of before, which was abandon them to the fate of the Russians. See, why didn't other presidents think about that? Why didn't they think about turning tail and running like an asshole with faking bone spurs?
To 5%, but it's not recognizable. If you go through the different cities, it's a very sad thing. And I tell it. I went over to Davos. They invited me. And when I left, they said that may have been the stupidest invitation we ever gave to somebody. Switzerland.
So that you're respected all over the world again. Good to know.
But they have to, I just say it like it is, they're destroying their country. Their
Their country, the country of Europe, Europeistan.
energy is ridiculous, what they've done. And the immigration is, I'm telling you, it's a place where many of these countries are not recognizable, and I'd like to see them straighten it out. Very soon, it's going to be impossible for them to straighten it out.
Anyways, Jesus said, welcome the stranger. And I respond with, fuck that.
We have our director of national and international intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who's doing a great job. Where's Tulsi?
Oh, that's why he's saying religion, because she's in an anti-gay Hawaiian cult. So, technically not Christian, I guess.
She took a lot of heat 2 days ago because she went in, at Pam's insistence, she went in and she looked at votes that want to be checked out from.
They did? The votes, did they call you personally? Are the votes in the room with us?
Georgia. They say, why is she doing it? Right, Pam? Why is she doing it?
Yeah, it'd be like, why would the head of the CIA be at the site of stuff being seized on American soil, for example?
Because Pam wanted her to do it, and
Oh, that's why. Okay, you didn't want her to, so you could change the name, instead of, because they call Tulsi Gabbard, her title DNI stands for Do Not Invite, because she keeps getting left out of shit because nobody wants to be around her. So they're trying to fix that, I guess, make her very visible, make her look like she's doing something.
Why? because she's smart.
Citation needed.
And they said, well, this has to do, her position has to do, it's really not so, but her position has to do with international. I say, well, the same people that said that, they've been saying Russia, Russia, Russia has been screwing our elections, okay? So let's assume Russia had something to do with it. They say, no, no, Russia didn't have. So now they're saying Russia had nothing to do with it.
What? I think this is the prayer, actually.
This is some bullshit. We see through it.
I'm all right. Good God.
Because if I say Russia, that it's perfectly fine. But you could add China and about 5 other countries to it.
Oh, so they were all messing with our elections when you said they weren't.
She's done a great job, and Pam has done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it both. I haven't seen you in a couple of days.
Yeah, she's been burying files in a field like the other gunman on the grassy knoll.
And I have one of the greatest negotiators. I'm so proud of him. He's a great negotiator. He's smart and respected by everybody. Jameson Greer, U.S. Trade. Where is Jameson? He's around here someplace. Thank you, Jameson. Boy, he's good. We have a great team. We have a great economic team, a great military team.
We got a great team about religion. See what I did? I did the weave. And I brought it back to, we got a great religion team doing for the people, the religion people.
Raising Cane helps Pete. Raising Cane.
Oh, fuck me.
General Cane, he wiped out ISIS and...
You mean the group that struck just a couple weeks ago in Syria and is expanding in Africa and that's all over Yemen and has a satellite group in Gaza right now that's gaining ground because they had some of the hostages and Hamas took all the heat?
I was told by General Mattis and General Milley, sir, it will take 5 years. I said, what? Sir, it'll take 5 years. I said, you mean we have the best equipment in the world and we're finding guys?
Yeah, it's the whole not killing civilians thing that really slows shit up. If you don't care about civilians, we can just start fucking killing people left and right. We can just obliterate large areas. I know you love the word obliterate, but if we're trying not to A, kill innocent people, and B, not make more terrorists in the process of eliminating the ones that we have to deal with, it's going to take some time. Fuck that. Just kill them all. Let God sort them out. Right,
Use
Pete?
bad rifles, knives preferably. They're very good with a knife, but a knife shouldn't do it. And I said, why? And I flew over to Iraq, and I met a guy named...
Sorry, wait. Who's good with knives? Our people or ISIS? So, you mean it would take 5 years because we were going to cut them to pieces like we're MS-13?
Sir,
Hold on.
it'll take 5 years. I said, you mean we have the best equipment in the world, and we're finding guys that use bad rifles, knives preferably.
Oh, I see. So they're armed with knives. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, but they're in and amongst women and children and innocent men.
They're very good with a knife, but a knife shouldn't do it. And I said, why? And I flew over to Iraq, and I met
Oh, my God.
a guy named Kane. I came out of the plane.
Oh, my God. Just there's not a more boring way you can tell this fucking story. We know, Raisin Cane. What's your name? Raisin, sir. What's your last name? Cane. I can't believe this guy, Raisin Cane. You're who I've been looking for, Raisin Cane. Raisin Cane's the guy.
And there's a handsome general standing there, and 3 generals. I went there to find out why the hell we couldn't win the war. Why aren't we winning the war against ISIS? They've been, playing games with us. So I wanted to see, and that's where I met Raisin Cane. I said, what's your first name? Raisin, sir? They call me Raisin.
No, he said Dan. They call me Raisin. His real name is Dan. Dan Kane, sir. They call me Raisin. Or do the guys really call you Raisin? Other people said they call him Raisin. He's just making this story up too. It's just a mishmash. It doesn't matter. This is an old fart sitting at the end of the bar, regaling about glory days. His some little young girl's eyes, glory days.
So what the hell kind of a name is that? Right?
Yeah, who doesn't say what the hell at a prayer breakfast?
We've learned a lot about him.
That's the closest thing to a prayer he said.
Now we get it. In this very quiet manner, he's brutal. Just ask Venezuela. Ask Iran. They're negotiating now. They don't want us to hit them. You know, we have a big fleet going over to Iran. But so Raisin was there at the bottom of the plane. What's your name? Raisin. What's your last name? Kane. I said, so your name is, let's get this straight. Your name.
Just we've heard it. Now we've heard 9 different versions at the same fucking time.
Is Raisin Kane, right? Yes, sir. That's what they.
That's the joke. His real name isn't Raisin. His real name is Daniel. They call him Raisin Kane. They call him Daniel Raisin Kane. It's a nickname. They gave him the nickname because of his prowess in battle. And hence they wouldn't have given that name to him if he worked at a fucking IHOP. Unless he was in charge of the pancakes and he let the blueberry one sit on the griddle too long, and then he'd be like Raisin Kane. You're like, this is the guy who fucks up the pancakes.
Call me.
Jesus Christ.
You're the guy I'm looking for. And then he said, sir, if you'd like, you can go and sleep. You know, it's a 20-hour trip.
You can sleep with me if you want, if I'm the guy you're looking for. Sir, I'm dedicated to my post.
If you'd like, you can go and sleep. We have quarters prepared for you. I said, no, I don't have to sleep. I've been on a plane sleeping for 20, I mean, I'm sleeping the plane. I don't sleep on planes. I don't like sleep.
You get like he's been knocked out on Ambien the entire time, but I don't sleep on planes. I slept the whole time on the plane. I don't need to sleep. Did I sleep? Have I been asleep? What time is it? Where am I? This sounds completely normal.
Sleeping on planes, you know? I like looking out the window watching for missiles and enemies, actually.
Great. So he's entered his Nixon paranoia phase. That's very reassuring. While he's staring out the window looking for a man on the wing of this plane, can we at least hide the fucking football from him?
But he said, sir, we have a place prepared for you, and we can meet after you've rested. I said, no. Let's go right now. So we did that. And
Because you were unconscious the entire time on the ride and you lie about sleeping on planes?
I said to him, I said, they tell me it's going to take 5 years to defeat ISIS. No, sir. I said, well, how long would it be, General Kane? Sir, we can do it in 4 weeks. I said, what? We can do it in 4 weeks, sir. And I should have maybe a couple of weeks left over. I mean, you can do it in less than 4 weeks? Yes, sir. I said, well, how come they tell me, our television generals, as I call them, two very poor generals, I mean, these guys, they look nice, they were nice guys. They didn't have what it took, believe me. Yeah, some people have that. They don't have what it takes.
The killer instinct. Anyways, enough about Jesus.
No matter what. I said, how come they tell me it's 4 to 5 years?
Because they don't want to kill civilians, sir, and I don't have a problem with that. It's the shooting in between the innocent people that slows everything down.
And he said, well, I don't want to speak badly about anybody, so I'd rather not comment on that. I found that to be nice, okay? But I said, all right, tell me how you're going to do.
Also, there's a big difference between 4 weeks and 5 years. So obviously it's an enormous exaggeration. So there would be a reason, extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence. I think this is an enormous pile of dog shit.
Well, sir,
Sorry, Mike.
we use this one base here, and we're hundreds of miles away. And by the time the planes get to the target, they have to come back and refuel. And we're too far.
Yeah, they run out of fuel and they're not even they don't have enough fuel to drop their bombs, sir.
I said, why do we do that? Because we don't want to offend any of the other countries. I said, we have a lot of portable airports, right, Pete? We have portable airports all over the Middle East, runways that are portable. You put them down, you take them up. We have equipment. Nobody has the stuff we have.
Yeah, my dad helped design that stuff in the 60s. It's not news.
We have airports that look better than Kennedy Airport.
No, we don't. And they're not portable, you weirdo.
And they're built in sand. And it took us about 2 minutes to build them. No, the equipment is incredible. You can land any plane on them, right? Portable. And we've got
So Bagram isn't special.
many of them, sir. We have to use them. I said, why don't we? Because we didn't want to defend, offend another country. I said, let me ask you a question. You're in the middle of the desert. Would another country know if we're taking off from some strip in the desert? They would have no idea, sir. They don't have radar. They don't have anything. So he explained it. So we want to hit them, sir, from 17 different locations. And we want to hit them left. And we hit them, and here we go. And we want to hit them right. Sure, and we want to hit them from the top, and we want to hit them from the bottom. East, west, north, south. Sir, they won't know what the hell hit, and we'll knock them out. We did it politically correct. 5 years, we'd call up the country
Gee, this is the prayer breakfast.
head, and we tell them, we'd like to attack ISIS today. As soon as the call was made, they'd call ISIS and tell them, you're going to be attacked, get the hell out of it. This is what we were doing for years, not with Raising Cane and not with Pete Hegseth, right, Pete?
Okay, gibberish. Then it wasn't a matter of range. It was because there were spies in the government that we were in the country we had invaded. Shocker.
We don't do that. And we have a little different method. So I went back to Washington and I said, this guy, he said, and then I checked up on him and he was so respected. I said, he's really respected. And
So he was respected is what you're saying. Did anybody tell you if he was respected or not? Was he very respected? One of the most respected guys, like everybody else around you, who also was in the Epstein files?
called him back. I said, General, go at it. Do good luck. God bless you. And he said, I say that to the people going out every time, and they say it when we give the okay for like the attack on Venezuela or the attack on Iran. He says, I say, we all say, we're all in a room together watching. We watch it. We watch these.
This is the prayer breakfast part. When we send in an attack, that's the closest thing to a prayer I do. I say, God bless you.
Attacks.
When people sneeze, it happens. I mean, I don't even mean to say it sometimes.
We always say, God
Gesundheit, because we prefer it in German.
bless you. Have a safe journey. It's a dangerous journey. These are dangerous journeys. Flying through the middle of Iran, they know you're coming.
But they don't have radar, and they wouldn't even know where the fucking plane is coming from. It's in the middle of the desert. They wouldn't know if we didn't tell them, and we're not telling them anymore. So why the fuck? What? So, oh, I'm sorry. I heard what you just said, and I didn't believe it, but I incorporated into my into the chamber of facts on which this sort of fiction is being built, and that was silly of me. I apologize.
And you're in a B-2 bomber, the most incredible thing, and they weren't able to see it because it's stealth. So good we
It's also pretty high up in the sky. It's a B-2.
ordered 20 more of them, brand new, updated version. I actually said, don't get the updated, just take the one you have. They said, no, sir, the new one's even better. We have a military, nobody has a military like we do. I rebuilt it, by the way, during my first term. I mean, I think it's one of the best things I did. I rebuilt the military during the first term, and now
We can kill anybody. I mean, we're just death from above. We could wipe out men, women, children, armed, unarmed, food markets, fucking infrastructure. We have a discombobulation ray that can fry people's brains for a 6-block radius around whoever to get one guy. It's amazing, right? Praise Jesus and pass the ammo.
really rebuilding the military, right? But the bottom line, I called him, I said, so you think you can do it, General? Yes, sir, I can do it. And it was over in 3 weeks. It was incredible. And
ISIS is actually was behind the bombing at the airport in Kabul. They were behind. They're still in existence. What do you mean? The caliphate was ended in 4 weeks because they just set up a base in the middle of it so they couldn't join the areas because we would just have a permanent station there. Basically, by putting our guys in harm's way and giving us an excuse under the AUMF to fire on anybody in any direction, not hitting them northwest, east, and south, but being able to fire northwest and east and south from a position in the center of basically what they would build as the caliphate would leave it disjointed. It didn't get rid of ISIS at all.
I mean, over.
So fucking stupid.
And then the election's rigged, and I wasn't there. And for 4 years, ISIS rebuilt. And they have a little bit of ISIS now again.
A little bit of ISIS.
And we knocked the hell out of them the
A little bit of ISIS in my sand.
other day in Nigeria because they were killing Christians. You know about that. They were killing Christians. So you can't do that.
The extremists in Nigeria kill Christians and Muslims. Actually, they technically kill more Muslims.
When Christians come under attack, they know they're going to be attacked violently and viciously by presidents.
Which is also true of every other sect that isn't the sect in power. I mean, if it's a Sunni region, the Shia are worried. If it's a Shia region, the Sunnis are worried. They'll be destroyed and tortured more so than even the Christians, who will just be shot or driven out. They don't care that much about them. It's like kill or convert, but this Sunni Shia fight is enormous and will go on forever, and it's very personal.
President Trump, I know
So stupid.
it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the way it is.
Is that in the teleprompter for the prayer breakfast?
So we're
I'm going with no.
also delighted to welcome
Anyways, I'm delighted.
visiting leaders and dignitaries from more than 110 countries. They're here, and including one of my favorite people, President Bukele of El Salvador. He has been so incredible. He has been such a great ally of this country. Thank you very much. Such a great ally. He's, some of you have seen, he operates rather large prisons,
Yes, another Christian act of kindness.
like prisons that's so large you can't see from one side to the other unless you have perfect 20/20 eyesight with binoculars. That's how
What?
long and big. And they do a job. They do a very humane job, but they're very strong prisons. And we send a lot of the people that we capture, the murderers, the drug dealers, the people that came into our country illegally and have already committed massive crimes. We had 11,888 murderers, and many of them are in your prisons right now, right? And he does a
Yeah, especially 88 of them. I wonder why that number matters so much to you.
fantastic job. I mean, it really sounds like a different kind of, this is a religious breakfast. You're going to walk away and say, he's the meanest son of a gun I've ever seen. But I'm not. I just want to keep.
I just don't really care about religion, and I would rather just beat my own chest and try to make up for the fact that I have a tiny little mushroom dick by acting like I'm the biggest badass on the planet. And no matter how much I talk about it, I'm reminded that I never went anywhere near any of the actual action and never would and never will. And I put other people in that position. So it sounds more pathetic the more I talk about it, actually.
Keep our country safe. It's very simple. We have to keep our country safe. So I want to thank you, Mr. President, for a great, amazing job you do with our people, too. They work together so well. Appreciate it. Not easy. This prayer breakfast comes at a special time for our country as we prepare to celebrate the 250th anniversary of American independence.
Burp. That wasn't fair. I don't think he burped. I think he shit himself again. Yeah.
And we're also very shortly going to have the Olympics and the World Cup. And, I got them. I was the one that got the Olympics, and I was the one that got, and I was.
I wasn't going to be able to be there, and then because God's providence made me be able to go to the Olympics, because I wouldn't even be invited if it wasn't. No, you'll get to go, and you'll get booed.
upset because I got him. I tried to move him up, but I couldn't. And
Yeah, you can't move up the Olympics or the World Cup.
my first term, I was getting him, and Barack Hussein Obama would refuse to call the Olympics because, in all fairness, they took advantage of him. Remember, he went there. He flew all the way to whatever country, some beautiful country in Europe. And he sat, he made his presentation, and he ended up coming in last. And that shouldn't happen to a president. You know, if you're a president, you have to get a wink. I'll go there, but are you going to give us the Olympics? Otherwise, I'm not going there. I don't want to. So he sat there, made a
Oh, so that's why you went to the World Economic Forum, because you would get loan guarantees and crypto and all kinds of shit like that.
very nice presentation. He came in last, came in fourth place. So he hated the
Current diaper level DEFCON 5.
people. He won't say that, I don't think, but I'll say it for him. And so he refused to be involved with the Olympics. I got a call from Democrats. The Democrat mayor of Los Angeles called me. So we have a problem. We have a president that refuses to call the Olympic Committee. And I just won the presidency. I was president-elect. And so I wasn't even in office. And I called this gentleman from, I think, Denmark. Can you believe? They own a large piece of ice that we're negotiating for.
You're not negotiating for it.
It's the biggest piece of ice in the world.
Antarctica, the Arctic regions in general are pretty big. Siberia. So dumb.
The world's largest piece of ice. They'll never run out of water. But I called the president, I called the various people, but the head of the Olympic Committee, very nice guy, and I couldn't get him off the phone. He was starving for love because nobody called him. They just wanted to know from the president, does the United States want the Olympics? They didn't want to choose the United States and then, have somebody say, like, we don't care. I said, I
That also never happened.
desperately want it. We're going to get it, blah, blah, blah. And I spoke to him, I spoke to other people, and I got it. I called up the Democrat from Los Angeles, happened to be the mayor of Los Angeles. He was devastated. He couldn't get the all they wanted to do is have an acknowledgement from the head of the country. Wouldn't do it. But I did it. We got the Olympics, and we got the World Cup. But then I don't know if Johnny's here from the World Cup, but that guy's great. He's great, my friend.
He gave me a peace prize, a soccer peace prize.
But I got them both, and I was really upset because I got them.
Jesus Christ. Like, this is brutal. This is the 74th, according to the sign behind him, National Prayer Breakfast. This reminds me of an old Mitch Hedberg joke about, as a stand-up, you got to start strong and end strong. You can't be like pancakes. You can't start strong, but then halfway through, you're fucking sick of them. This is President Pancakes. That's what this is. Halfway through, everybody, even the people who were desperate to be there are like, God damn it, when's the food going to get here?
And I said,
Maybe they already ate and they're all just dozing off.
think of it, I won't be president because they're in the following term. Because, when you get the Olympics, usually it's 10 years in advance. And I said, so I did all that good work. It wasn't that easy. I got it.
Yeah, he's very suffering succotash today, Andrea. He's getting a lot of that lateral lift sloppiness. Also, his fucking pelican nunt is back.
Then I got the World Cup. They both were happening now in a year, another year and a half, a year, right after the 250. I didn't get 250. I tried to claim it a couple of times. I said, and I produced 250-year anniversary. It was my deal. I got 250 years, and the press hit me hard on that one, so I gave that up immediately. But
because it had to do with the calendar?
I happened to be president during that, so think of it. So I'm the president, and I got these two things, and I said, you know what? I got the Olympics to come to the United States, and I got the World Cup to come to the United States, and I probably won't even be invited to be there. And I was really angry. And then they rigged the election, and then I said, I'm coming back. And I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup. Right?
Yeah, and you're going to go and you're going to be booed. And you're going to leave early.
And at some point, I'm going to...
In all fairness, he would have gotten booed if it had happened, when he wasn't president as well. Like if he'd have gone as no longer president. Like if he'd have done 2 consecutive terms and then they came in this one, he would have been booed if he went then too.
Get right back onto the teleprompter, and you're going to say, that was a wonderful speech.
Jesus Christ. Like everybody, he's admitting like this is a boring fucking ramble.
And at some point, I'm going to get right back onto the teleprompter, and you're going to say, that was a wonderful speech. On that momentous day in 1776. This is so much easier. It takes real talent to do the other. Yeah.
What, to ramble nonsensically about stuff that's inappropriate to the venue because you need an ego boost because you just saw the polls that tell everybody just how much your own maggots hate you now?
There's much more talent, but that's why we're president, I think. But we have very important words to say, and this is such an important group. And we have plenty of time to say it, because when it comes to religion, I have all the time. I'm one of the few that say we have all the time in the world. But on that momentous day in 1776, history changed forever when our founders proclaimed the immortal truths that echoed around the world and down all the way through time. They declared that all of us are made free and equal by the hand of our Creator. A lot of presidents refuse to say that.
No, they don't.
They refuse to say that. Some refuse. Some major politicians refuse to say the word God. They don't.
They don't even say it. Even when they hit their thumb with a hammer while working around the house. Stomp. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. Gee whiz. That's That's not happening. I'm not even, you can't make me say it. That's a, how are you? Whoo! Refuse to say it. Shut the fuck up.
I want to say it. I say it.
I say God all the time, even though it makes you guys uncomfortable.
That we are endowed with our sacred rights to life, liberty, and not by government, but by God Almighty Himself.
Yes, he made it through the sentence, everyone. It's in the teleprompter. He didn't go accept me in the middle of it, which, I think it's genetics, because I'm with Hitler on that part. He didn't do that. So, keep it up, please. It's too important.
And those words rang out from Philadelphia and launched a revolution, not just in America, but in the hearts of all humanity. The principles of the Declaration of Independence, which is one of three, sitting right beautifully in the Oval Office. I took it out of the vaults, and it's beautiful. It's beautifully protected, and it's a magnificent document. I stare at it all the time, and I read it as often as I can. A true, brilliant work of art.
Yeah, quote one piece of it. It's on your wall. One line.
They've stirred the spirit of patriots in every nation, liberated millions from tyranny, and lifted billions from poverty, and it's doing now more than ever before. We're doing better than this country's ever done in 1 year. Think of what we can do. We just have to keep it going, Mr. Speaker, if you don't mind. Okay? Got to keep it going.
Oh, dear.
But no, and the Democrats admit this. No president in his first year has ever done the things we've done. When you think.
Well, yeah, no one's ever been this corrupt.
We've gotten the largest tax cut in history, larger than even in the first term. But we've done something else, and I think we've brought back spirit to our country. 2 years ago.
Spirit. Yes, he did, sir. No spirit, bravado, a touch of daring do. Yes, he did, sir.
2 years ago, you couldn't get anybody to go into the military. They laughed at you and they
Back to killing people.
said they didn't respect our country. They didn't respect our president. They thought he was a joke. They thought our country was a joke.
Sorry, the people who are joining the military right now thought our country was a joke 2 years ago. And they had a big turnaround, did they? Oh, thank you so much for the super chat.
Other countries
Hold on. Hit that like, share the show. I forgot to say all that stuff.
laughed at us and took advantage of us with tariffs, and we weren't allowed to charge, and they were allowed to charge. And
We had tariffs, they had tariffs. We do, tariffs when they try to dump stuff in. Obama did bigger steel tariffs than Trump did as a protectionist thing. They did this thing with washing machines. It was the same thing.
but we are allowed to charge, and I hope we get that Supreme Court decision because we have taken in hundreds of billions of dollars of
And lost trillions.
money. We're a rich nation again, doing what other nations have done to us for many, many years. But the biggest thing is what's happened to me. It's the spirit of our country, and that goes for religion, but it also goes for the military. We couldn't
Yeah. I mean, God's one thing, but have you seen the amount of devastation we can make?
recruit anybody to go into our great military. We were the worst I think it's ever been 2.5 years ago. And
Yeah, it was weird. It was almost like everybody else had other job prospects.
the Sleepy
But that's gone.
Joe Biden administration. I call him Crooked Joe and Sleepy Joe. I find them to be equal, actually. I do polls. Which is better, Crooked Joe?
Jesus Christ. You're making me sleepy. I feel crooked just standing here.
Or Sleepy Joe? And they poll about even.
Ugh.
So I use both. But we have now the greatest recruiting that we've ever had. Everybody wants to be in the military. We're hot as a pistol. We couldn't get anybody to go into not me, the last administration. Nobody wanted to be in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, Space Force, which is turning out to be good. I'm so proud of it because I'm the father of Space Force.
And I was the same way, with it that I was with my own kids. I had a minimal part of its creation, and then I left it to other people to deal with.
But we couldn't get people. We couldn't get people. They couldn't get people to go into any of them, including our police departments and our fire departments.
Yes, nobody wanted to be a fireman for the last 5 years. They just didn't respect our country. They wanted it to burn down.
They weren't proud of our nation. They had no spirit. And now we have had the single greatest recruitment in the history of our country. There's never
Also, not even close to true. World War II, even the Vietnam War lead up, recruitment was higher. Even before they instituted the draft, for Christ's sake, they set the number low and they met it.
been anything like it. We have waiting lists of people wanting to get in.
No, you don't.
In fact, if we want to expand the military, Mr. Speaker, this would be a very good time to do it. We have so many people want to get into the military that
Yeah, it's like a rally. They're standing outside. And does anybody want to trade their seat for somebody who's in the military? I didn't think so.
But we also won in the Supreme Court, as you know, based on merit. It was a merit, and we take people based on merit. Like we'd prefer a strong person in the military as opposed to a weak person. We'd prefer somebody that's a strong, powerful person with extremely good vision that can shoot a rifle very well to a person that's extremely weak, non-muscular, can't shoot a rifle,
Oh, you mean you?
has no idea where the hell he is.
Also you.
We have a military where they all look like Tom Cruise, only bigger. Now we hire on merit now. And that goes for colleges. People get into colleges now. If you have great boards and great marks and you work, and then somebody
And some rich asshole whose father gets him in because he's a legacy admission.
else gets in with that's not nearly
Thanks,
as qualified.
Fugelsang.
Now it's a merit system. It's tough in one way, but it's, our country was built on a system of merit. And then
Then explain how your asshole friends got in charge, because none of them have ever achieved their level of success. They were born into it. Elon Musk, born into it. You, born into it.
we went away from it a number of years ago. We got it back. That was a brave decision by the Supreme Court, I'll say. And it's tough on some people. Actually, it makes people work harder, I think. But we have to base our country on merit, or we won't have a country. We were going in such a bad direction. It's incredible.
Anyways, back to the teleprompter.
And I give a lot of credit on that one to the Supreme Court. They give me some bad ones, too. But I give a lot of credit. That took a lot of courage to do it. But they understood it was the right thing to do to be a great nation, however. I think, and I may be wrong, but I don't think so, because I've watched a lot and I study a lot.
Jesus Christ. This is a tooth pull.
You have to have religion. You have to.
Any religion, doesn't matter. Yeah. If you worship the God of Abraham or one of these wood carving dildo gods, just something. And maybe you worship both of those the same way. Who could say? Fuck.
You have to have faith. You have to have God. And thankfully, as we gather today, there are many.
Man, he's just trying to bring this fucking plane in with no landing gear. You gotta have, what does it say in the teleprompter here? How the fuck do I get from it's okay to kill civilians to this? Shit. They won't mind.
Signs that religion
They won't notice, really.
is coming back, and now it's no longer signs. It's just coming back. It's coming.
Sorry, there are signs that it's. Thank you very much, Andrea. I'm holding it together. We'll get through some of this. Jesus Christ, how far are we? God damn.
Coming back so strong. Your churches are filling up. You didn't have
No, they're not.
that 2 years ago.
Yeah, people found faith in their fellow human beings.
It was hurt by COVID, but it really, and they treated you terribly. The Democrats treated you terribly. So,
Yeah, they just somehow didn't want you to get old people in one big room while there was an infectious respiratory virus going around. What a bunch of assholes.
Mr. Congressman, but the truth is, they
Sorry, he goes, Mr. Congressman?
treated you terribly. Sorry, Mr. Congressman, but the truth is, they had pastors holding services outside. The people were standing 15 feet away from each other, and everybody was arrested. It was like.
No, they weren't.
They ran it. They always like to say, Trump is a dictator. They love that. I'm not a dictator. But they were like dictators. They were like the Gestapo. They were arresting people for going to church.
No, they weren't.
And they were arresting people and treating people like horribly. And
By not letting them gather in close proximity in a closed space with a respiratory virus going around that tended to kill old people, when the vast majority of people who go to church have either multiple comorbidities or are old themselves.
I made a lot of amends to those people. Those people were treated very badly for wanting to go to church. It had a huge impact, negative impact on churches, but the churches are now coming back stronger than ever. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, actually. So.
Yeah, they have. I don't know, 30 years ago, when these numbers were normal.
You're all hot, okay? It's like the king of Saudi Arabia. He said, and you
Oh my God, I wouldn't quote him. Jesus Christ.
probably heard me say it. I love it. I was with him. And he said, a year and a half ago, he said,
Christian churches are the hottest churches in the world right now. A year ago, they were dead churches, especially the ones in my vicinity. But now they're just hot as a pistol.
a year and a half ago, he said,
Oh, God.
we thought your country was dead. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Nobody even close. I think you can say that, El Salvador is very hot, but I think we can say that, right? We have the Congo here. I don't know. The Congo is hot. We just ended a war. One of our 8 wars that we ended, right?
No.
He's a great guy, too. He's a great guy. You talk about...
Oh, you mean the guy who dumped all of his criminals into the country, right? Wasn't the Congo one of those countries?
People that suffered. Those people suffered. In 2025, more copies
You really like get back to the fucking teleprompter.
of the Holy Bible were sold in the United States that at any time in the last 100 years. Now, how about that?
Yeah, before they were given away for free by churches. Now they're being sold because you sold one. You added another Bible that was being sold. Any church will give you a Bible for free. Any church. Shit, you can find one in the drawer at most motels. Don't ask me how I know that. It's none of your goddamn business.
How about that? Did you know that, Mr. Speaker? You know, Mike Johnson's a very religious person, and he does not hide it. He'll say to me sometimes at lunch, "Sir, may we pray?" I say, "Excuse me?"
What for? Who the fuck prays?
We're having lunch, you know, in the Oval. It's okay
Yeah, you don't pray in the Oval. Have you seen what I do in here?
with me.
Yeah, does it count if people are downwind from me and they go, Jesus?
But he's a very religious person, and he is popular, and he's doing an unbelievable job. So I think God is watching over you. God is watching over him. I don't know about me, so I hang around with him because I feel I'm protected a little bit. In the last 12 months, young Americans attended church at nearly twice the rate as they did 4 years ago.
Yeah, as they did during COVID. So half as many of them are actually going. Before COVID, 100 people were going. During COVID, 10 people are going. Now double are going, 20 people are going. See how that works?
And many churches, you see the stats, I mean, people are talking about it. The radical left is not happy about it. Many Democrats are not happy about it. This, by the way, will be the last year the Democrats show up to this event, I tell you. But I got to say, how the hell do you vote for these people? But some churches are seeing a 30%, 50%, or even 70% increase.
Well, maybe they don't want to come to this thing because it went from being a prayer breakfast to a politicized blatherfest for a tapioca-brained Timu Hitler.
In the number of converts and also the number of people going to church every week. To support this exciting renewal this morning, I'm pleased to announce that on May 17th, 2026, that we're
this year.
inviting Americans from all across the country to come together on our national mall to pray, to give thanks, and we are going to do something that everyone said, like, that's tough. We're going to...
Really? It was difficult? You're going to have a bunch of people get together and have a big revival?
rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people...
Why would that be hard? You just have every religious fanatic in the country show up. Are you going to do it by getting baptized? It sent a chill down his spine when he said that. Or, you know, actually closer to the truth, if I may, more than likely. They're all like, we're going to make so much money off this event. And we're going to, like, launder so much money off this event. And we're going to be able to hide so much money with this event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's good. That's what I mean by the Spirit. It's so incredible to see it. I see it so much. I've never seen anything like it in 1 year. I thought it would take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to be where we are. We've done it in, I mean, really 10 months. We're at 12, but now it's just getting to a level that we've never reached before as a country. But that includes
Yes, that direction.
religion. I mean, and maybe that's part of the reason that we're doing so well. There's such great spirit. It's all spirit, and it includes
You guys clap every time I say spirit, so I'll just say spirit again.
religion. I've always said, you just can't have a great country if you don't have religion. You have
Can't you mean like values, faith, all the stuff like, or just religion? You just need the business of religion.
to believe in something. You
You got to believe in something.
have to believe that what we're doing, there's a reason for it. There has to be a reason for it. We're all
Yes, I think enriching yourself and your family.
working and we're behaving. I mean, I behave because I'm afraid not to, okay?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, God forbid you should actually believe in the moral tenets that you're under as opposed to fear hell. Hey, look, I'll take anything I can get from this dickhead. If he's shaped up because he was afraid of going to hell, it would do us all a lot of good.
I don't want to get in trouble. No, it's such a positive thing, and people are starting to see it, and they go into church, and they're meeting people, and families are developing. It's really, the things are happening in our country right now, and we have to get the bad ones out. We have to do it. We can't let
Out of the churches, I agree.
that happen, and
Start with some of the people that are on the dais with you.
we're being very tough in law and order and crime, and I hate to say it because it doesn't seem to go hand in hand, but you can't have people going to churches and coming out and have criminals taking advantage and doing things that nobody wants to even describe.
You do, but you just caught yourself.
And that's not happening anymore. You know, Washington, D.C. is a very safe city now. When I took over,
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I might have to, like, put a pin in this temporarily if I'm going to be out of here on time.
Washington, D.C. was a death trap. Many people were being killed. 2, 3 a week, they were being killed. Come in from Iowa to look at the Lincoln Memorial, the
Yeah, it was a terrible place. Anybody from the Midwest, they could spot you.
Jefferson.
He looks like he's heading to the Lincoln Memorial. Let's get him. What are we going to do? I don't know. Rob him, rape him, kill him. Not necessarily in that order.
the George Washington, the monument, and they called the parents, "I'm sorry, sir, your son has been killed."
No, that wasn't a weekly occurrence in Washington D.C.
What?
What? What? He's not even there. He's right here. Who is this?
Your son has been killed. That doesn't happen. You know, we took out 2,000 monsters out of Washington, D.C. It's not just that we have the troops, and they are central casting. I love them. I think, to me, it looks much more beautiful. You walk down the street, you have 3 guys that are 6'6" and angry-looking people, but they actually are very nice. They're angry when they see criminals. That's all. They get angry. They took Tren de Aragua, and honestly, I don't want to say this, but they beat the crap out of them.
Oh my God. You know, like Jesus would.
They beat the crap out of them. They found that they were doing bad things, and
That was a lame attempt at at somebody doing the wave. Yeah, beat the crowd. Oh, right. Sorry, prayer breakfast. Fuck.
and Tren de Aragua didn't want anything to do with these guys. Then we put them in the paddy wagon. We took them back to where they came from. You know that.
Sorry, the National Guard was using paddy wagons. So everyone in the National Guard is Irish now. Okay.
But we took out over 2,000 hardcore criminals. You know, 2% of the population produces 90% of the violent crime. Think of that. Think of that. And
No. That's not how it works. They don't all live in one area and just travel and just kind of like they run a franchise out to the rest of the country.
Washington now is a very safe place. I get it all the time. I go into the White House and people that work in the White House come up, "Sir, I want to thank you so much, young woman, man.
Yeah, while you're out walking in the streets without any Secret Service and you're absolutely meeting people spontaneously.
Say, I walked to work. I couldn't have walked to work. I wouldn't have even thought to walk to work before. They walk to work. The place is booming. Restaurants are opening up. The restaurants were almost going to be all closed. They would have been all closed. You couldn't even go, even if you got there, the restaurant would be robbed with people sitting there. Hold up.
All right, yeah. I like, again, can you tell me you live in a bubble without telling me you live in a bubble?
Up your hands, everybody. Give us your money. And then they'd whack people with the butt of a gun. And
Oh, it's almost like it's something I saw in a movie once.
And Washington is a very safe city. We have almost no crime. And it's a miracle, but it took place very quickly. And it's the same thing for every other place we've gone. In Louisiana, New Orleans, I got a call from the governor, Jeff.
Oh my God, this is the same fucking stories, and he's gonna do another 45 minutes of this. Okay. I'll watch the rest of this on your behalf, and if there's something worth pulling. But this rambling shitstorm went on for an hour and a half at the National Prayer Breakfast. And throughout, I think if there was a theme for any of it, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the entirety of the speech, I would say it was that Donald Trump views religion as a product, and that there's money in selling it, and there's fame in selling it, and there's sort of a confluence of fame and money in the upper tier of the sort of mega church crowd and all that kind of stuff that works internationally, you know, laundering money all over the place, hiding their wealth, having multiple airplanes, all the shit he does with his fake buildings and his fake real estate empire, which is just now a money laundering operation itself. He's looking at the people who have mega churches and going, they have the same shit I do. They have planes and big houses and all that kind of stuff, and I ain't got shit. I'm ready to go. I am. I just said I was wrapping up. Did I not say I was wrapping up? The chat room will back me up on this. She's standing right there, and I gotta go. I gotta go. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Hit the like, share the show. Thank you guys so much. Venmo, patreon.com/HalSparks. It said, all right, I'm coming. I'm ready to go. All right, yeah. Come on. This,
yeah. If they
what am I
ask,
supposed to
I
do?
got it.
Okay.
You ain't seen nothing. Yeah, we ain't saying nothing. Black bar over my screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild,
give me the
on
look.
Axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Blood and face, can't fact check the madness. Torn out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. I was young, I was dumb, I was scrolling. Type way too much, hit send, heart swollen. Now I keep receipts like a lawyer with a folder. But anything risky, get hit with the toner. Whole group chat, got tails, I ain't claim. If my name pop up, that's a typo, blame. Who's that in the pic, man, that ain't go strange. That's a random stranger with a very close face. Understanding my friends, I plead don't recall. If they ask for the tape, it's a missing file. If they pull up the clip, that's deep fake style. If they show me the proof, I just smile. Like redact this. Black ball over my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Torn out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad libs, highlight, right click, boom, yeah. If it hit too close, that's a rumor I heard. If the dateline match, that's a clerical error. If the outfit match, that's a popular shirt. If the tattoo match, that's a stock photo search. I'm allergic to question, coughing the light. I just added the ending, soften the bite. Take the worst 3 parts of the night, then slice like fun was had and we were not. Every ex got a check.